Okay, so we're continuing our football club history series. We're staying in Italy and we're going to provincial Italy for this video. We're staying in the north of Italy though. We're going to Piedmont. We're going to the town of Vercelli, which is not a big place, but it has some big importance with the history of the game of football in the sport of football, should I say, in Italy. Now, the club we're looking at is FC Pro Vercelli 1892. Obviously, they're founded in 1892, so they're a very, very historical club. They play at the Stadio Silvio Piaula in Vercelli, in Piedmont, which only has a capacity of 5,500, so a very, very small stadium. Now, the club last played in Serie A in the 1934-35 season. They got relegated from Serie B the first time in the 47-48 season, and not long after that, they end up in what is now Serie D via Serie C. They lose their professional status. They didn't regain their professional status until the 94-95 season, so there was a long period of basically being an amateur club, being in decline, not doing very well. Now, they currently compete in the Serie C league system in the Group A, which is the northern grouping of Serie C, so that's a level below Serie B. But this club won 7 top-flight titles, 5 in a row before the First World War and 2 back-to-back just after the First World War. And this is the period where not all the clubs in Italy are fully professional, and professionalism hasn't come around until what is now the now league system in 1929. So they had some professional players on their books, but they're mostly semi-pro or amateurs. They won 7 titles in a very short, between 1908 and 1922. Very successful club. And then they just could not compete with the more industrialised cities that had bigger financial backing, like Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan. They just couldn't compete with that industrial money, which led to their decline and then losing their professional status in time. So let's have a look at it. They first win the Italian Championship, which is now known as Serie A, in 1908. They do it again the following year in 1909. They do it in 1910, 1911, 1911, 1912, 1912, 1913. So that's 5 seasons in a row. Then the First World War happens. After the First World War, they win it in back-to-back years in the 1920-21 season and 1921-22 seasons. They basically dominated Italian football just before and just after World War One. That is a ridiculous number of titles. But then professionalism comes along, and Serie A, current Serie A, Serie B system is set up in 1929 as it currently stands today with the league structure, and by 1934, 1935, that is their last season in the top flight. They are relegated out the top flight. They slip down to Serie B. They get relegated out of Serie B the first time in the 47-48 season. They have been back, as I say, to Serie B since the 1947-48 season. But after 1948, they lose their professional status, which they do not regain until they win the Serie D title in the 93-94 season. So for the 94-95 season onwards, they have been a professional club again. It's the fun thing. And as I say, they currently compete in Serie C Group A, which is the northern grouping. But yeah, it's been a long road back. They have gone bankrupt in that time. They've had to reform in that time. But this club is one of the oldest clubs in Italian football, and in the early days was the club to beat. They won 7 titles in the best part of a decade and a bit. That they really dominated the early days of Italian football. So there you go. There's a brief history of FC Pro Vercelli 1892. It's a shame that they lost their professional status. It is a shame that they haven't been back to Serie A since 1934-35. But without clubs like this, you don't have Italian football as we see it today. So there we go. There's a brief history of FC Pro Vercelli. And yeah, I like doing these videos of these lesser clubs that have fallen on hard times or haven't won for a long time, because without clubs like this in the league pyramids, in various leagues around Europe and around the world, we don't have the game we have today. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will have some more content for you very, very soon.